Hello, my name is Callista and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. In the last episode, we lit the beacon at the top of the Tower of Ishal. However, Loghain didn't flank the Darkspawn as he was supposed to. He instead fled the field, and King Kaelin and his entire army were unfortunately overwhelmed. Things aren't looking so great for Ferelden. Now, luckily, Artin and Alistair were saved by Morrigan's mother, and speaking of Alistair, we'd better go outside and check that he's okay.
It will be done.
I hope he's doing alright.
See, here is your fellow Grey Warden. You worry too much, young man.
You're alive. I thought you were dead for sure.
I'm not, thanks to Morrigan's mother. Afraid you were going to be left alone. I'm fine, I appreciate your concern. It takes more than a few Darkspawn to kill me. I think Alistair's clearly shaken. Morrigan said as much. And while I am tempted by number 4, it takes more than a few Darkspawn to kill me, I don't think now is the time for bravado. I think Alistair needs something a little bit more genuine now, and I think Artin would realise that. I'm fine. I appreciate your concern.
Oh, this doesn't seem real. If it weren't for Morrigan's mother, we'd be dead on top of that tower.
Do not talk about me as if I am not present, lad.
I didn't mean... But what do we call you? You've never told us your name?
Names are pretty, but useless. The Chasind folk call me Flemeth. I suppose it will do.
The Flemeth? From the legends? Daveth was right. You're the Witch of the Wilds, aren't you?
And what does that mean? I know a bit of magic, and it has served you both well, has it not?
Who cares what she is? We need to do something now. So why did you save us? If you're Flemeth, you must be very old and powerful. We can't be safe here. Where are all the Darkspawn? I suppose we should thank you. Not number 3. Artin would have no idea who Flemeth is. She's never heard those stories before, so saying the name Flemeth wouldn't have any connotations for her. It's between 2 or 5. I'm not particularly fond of the I suppose we should thank you. I think Artin has very good manners, and I suppose, like, that doesn't seem right to me. So why did you save us?
Well, we cannot have all the Grey Wardens dying at once, can we? Someone has to deal with these Darkspawn. It has always been the Grey Warden's duty to unite the lands against the Blight. Or did that change when I wasn't looking?
Of course not. It changed when most of them were slaughtered. The Grey Wardens are no more, let someone else do it. The land is hardly united thanks to Loghain. I think... Well, I said Artin, bravado wasn't needed. But I don't think this is bravado. Of course not.
But we were fighting the Darkspawn. The king had nearly defeated them. Why would Loghain do this?
Now that is a good question. Men's hearts hold shadows darker than any tainted creature. Perhaps he believes the Blight is an army he can outmaneuver. Perhaps he does not see that the evil behind it is the true threat.
The Archdemon.
Then we need to find this Archdemon. What is this Archdemon exactly? Alistair is the real Grey Warden here, not me. Will you help us fight this Blight, Flemeth? We should contact the rest of the Grey Wardens. What could the Tern hope to gain by betraying the king? Artin knows betrayal. She's experienced it firsthand, so I think she knows exactly what the Tern hopes to gain. And not number 3. She's a real Grey Warden. She might not have been one for very long, but she's a Grey Warden now, and she's not gonna doubt herself. I'm very interested in what Flemeth says an Archdemon is. She's asked Alistair, she's got the Grey Warden opinion, and I think she's picking up that this woman is someone important in some way. She's very old and very magical, so maybe she might have some information that the Grey Wardens don't, perhaps? What is this archdemon, exactly?
It is said that long ago, the Maker sent the old gods of the ancient Tevinter Imperium to slumber in prisons deep beneath the surface. An archdemon is an old god awakened and tainted by Darkspawn. Believe that or not, history says it's a fearsome and immortal thing, and only fools ignore history.
We should contact the rest of the Grey Wardens.
Kaelin already summoned them. They'll come if they can, but I expect Loghain has already taken steps to stop them. We must assume they won't arrive in time.
Will you help us fight this blight, Flemeth?
Me? I am just an old woman who lives in the wilds. I know nothing of blights and darkspawn.
Well, whatever Loghain's insanity, he obviously thinks the Darkspawn are a minor threat. We must warn everyone this isn't the case.
And who will believe you? Unless you think to convince this Loghain of his mistake.
He just betrayed his own king. If Al-Eamon knew what he did at Ostagar, he would be the first to call for his execution.
Al-Eamon? Is this someone important? Perhaps we could go to him then. You think the Arl would believe us over the Tairn? Ooh. Kaelin mentioned Al-Eamon. And I believe Duncan said that Eamon was Kaelin's uncle, so she does know vaguely who Eamon is. You think the Arl would believe us over the Tairn?
I suppose. Al-Eamon wasn't at Ostagar. He still has all his men. And he was Kaelin's uncle. I know him. He's a good man, respected in the Landsmeet. Of course, we could go to Redcliffe and appeal to him for help.
What about those treaties Flemeth gave us? That sounds like an excellent idea. Keep in mind that Loghain was also an honourable man. Everyone will see the danger the blight poses, right? And say he doesn't help us, what then? I think Artin remembers the treaties, definitely. What about those treaties Flemeth gave us?
See? There is a smart lass.
Thank you.
Of course! The treaties. Grey Wardens can demand aid from dwarves, elves, mages, and other places. They're obligated to help us during a blight.
I may be old, but dwarves, elves, mages, this Al-Eamon, and who knows what else. This sounds like an army to me.
So can we do this? Go to Redcliffe and these other places and build an army?
Why not? Isn't that what Grey Wardens do? As long as there's some profit in it. Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I doubt it will be as easy as that. Why not? Isn't that what Grey Wardens do?
So you are set then, ready to be Grey Wardens.
As ready as we'll ever be. I'd be happy with just staying alive. I don't suppose you could offer any more help. Yes, thank you for everything, Flemeth. We're going, old woman. Don't push us. She has saved us. And she did... I don't think we ever thanked her for giving us the treaties, so we'd probably be best thanking her now. Yes, thank you for everything, Flemeth.
No, thank you. You are the Grey Wardens here, not I. Now, before you go, there is yet one more thing I can offer you.
The stew is bubbling, Mother dear. Shall we have 2 guests for the eve, or none?
The Grey Wardens are leaving shortly, girl. And you will be joining them.
Such a shame. What?
You heard me, girl. The last time I looked, you had ears.
I think that's an excellent idea. What makes you think we want her? Thank you, but if Morrigan doesn't wish to join us... Having someone who's with you unwillingly can make them a bugger to command. Artin knows this, and I think she'd rather have people who are with her willingly rather than people that she's just dragging along. Thank you, but if Morrigan doesn't wish to join us...
Her magic will be useful. Even better, she knows the wilds and how to get past the Horde.
Have I no say in this?
You have been itching to get out of the wilds for years. Here is your chance. As for you, Wardens, consider this repayment for your lives.
Very well, we'll take her with us. Was this your idea all along? She had better be as useful as you say. Very well, we'll take her with us.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but won't this add to our problems? Out of the wilds, she's an apostate.
If you do not wish help from us illegal mages, young man, perhaps I should have left you on that tower.
Point taken.
Mother, this is not how I wanted this. I'm not even ready.
You must be ready. Alone, these two must unite Ferelden against the Darkspawn. They need you, Morrigan. Without you, they will surely fail, and all will perish under the Blight. Even I.
I understand.
And you, Wardens, do you understand? I give you that which I value above all in this world. I do this because you must succeed.
I understand. We don't need her help. She won't come to harm with us. As much as I'd like to say number 3, I don't think we can guarantee that, and I don't think Artin makes false promises. I understand.
Allow me to get my things, if you please.
Sure thing, Morrigan.
I am at your disposal, Grey Wardens. I suggest a village north of the wilds as our first destination. It is not far, and you will find much you need there. Or, if you prefer, I shall simply be your silent guide. The choice is yours.
I think we should just get underway. No, I prefer you speak your mind. I have no problems with your presence if Alistair doesn't. Actually, I have some questions. I have some questions.
I may have answers. Ask.
Are you really Flemeth's daughter? Have you never been outside the wilds? Tell me about this village to the north. How are we going to get past the Darkspawn? What skills do you have exactly? I have no more questions. I think it's always good to find out your party members' skill sets. What skills do you have exactly?
I know a few spells, though I am nowhere near as powerful as Mother. I have also studied history and your Grey Warden treaties.
Can you cook?
Alistair!
I can cook, yes.
Never mind him, you don't have to cook. Then you can substitute for Alistair. Excellent, you'll be at least of some use. Never mind him, you don't have to cook.
You missed your chance. Now it's charred rabbit from here on out.
How are we going to get past the Darkspawn?
The real question is how we are going to get your friend past the Darkspawn, is it not?
That's true. We can sense the Darkspawn. Conversely, they can sense us.
I don't sense any Darkspawn. That's not reassuring. I don't sense any Darkspawn.
You won't right away. No. It takes time. We should be able to sneak past smaller groups, but larger ones, or particularly intelligent Darkspawn, will always detect us.
Mother has given me something else for them to smell instead as we pass by. It is important we head out of the wilds, however, not farther in.
Okay, that's good that we know that now rather than later. The Darkspawn are camped farther in the forest?
They come from underground, like an eruption. They broke through deep within the forest, and that is where they will be most concentrated.
Have you never been outside the wilds?
From time to time. I have been to the village I mentioned, watched its people, and pondered what curious beings they are. On occasion, I purchased goods from the village merchants. There I spoke with men a little. There they stared and knew me as an outsider. Mother wishes for me to expand the horizon of my experience beyond the wilds. Even she was not born here.
Is that what you want?
What I want is to see mountains. I wish to witness the ocean and step into its waters. I want to experience a city rather than see it in my mind. So, yes, this is what I want. Actually, leaving is harder than I thought, however. Perhaps Mother is right. It must simply be done quickly.
Tell me about this village to the north.
'Tis a small place of little consequence called Loghain. No more than a stop along your Imperial Highway where travellers purchase goods from local farms and smiths. I would go more often were it not for the town's chantry. It makes the village particularly intolerant and unpleasant for a stranger such as me.
A chantry? And they never in all this time thought that maybe you were a witch?
Of course they have. They even called out their Templars once. They found nothing.
Is there any reason to go to Loghain then?
I mention it for its tavern, where travellers gather with news from other places. 'Tis small enough that our appearance might go unnoticed.
Okay.
Beyond that, 'tis close, and I know the way.
It's as good a place to start as any. And while... Are you really Flemeth's daughter? It's kind of a rude question, however... Morrigan appears quite young, and Flemeth appears quite old. And that's a little bit suspicious. Are you really Flemeth's daughter?
'Twas she who raised me, and thus I consider her my mother, born from her womb or not. 'Tis what you meant, yes?
It's just difficult to imagine her... I'm just wondering her age, that's what I want to say. She's just going to stay here alone? I mean, if she's lived all this time in the wilds, and she's got magic, she's probably very capable. I'm just wondering her age.
She would no more tell me than you, I assure you.
I have no more questions.
Farewell, Mother. Do not forget the stew on the fire. I would hate to return to a burned-down hut.
Bah! 'Tis far more likely you will return to see this entire area, along with my hut, swallowed up by the blight.
All I meant was...
Yes, I know. Do try to have fun, dear.
Their relationship is so... bizarre. I imagine that Artin, we know she had a close relationship with her father, and I imagine she was also quite close with her mother, so seeing Morrigan's interaction with Flemeth would be quite puzzling to her. Now, before we actually go anywhere, I want to check that Alistair's alright.
What do you need?
Do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
I just thought you might need to talk about it. That doesn't mean I don't mourn his loss. He was like a father to you, I understand. Good, I don't want you falling apart again. So I mentioned before that Artin really doesn't have much compassion for people who have lost family members to the Darkspawn. For the simple fact of she has lost so many family members, it's kind of... her pain to that stimulus has been dulled a bit, and I think she gets quite annoyed when she hears surfaces say, "Oh, I lost my cousin to the Darkspawn." She just kind of stands there like, "Oh really? You lost a cousin? I lost a cousin and another cousin and another cousin and an uncle and another cousin and an aunt and another uncle and a cousin and like 6 of my childhood friends, and the stone only knows how many acquaintances I've lost. But yeah, you go off about your one cousin." And I think that comes from the fact that the surfaces are so lucky. They are so lucky that they don't have to deal with regular Darkspawn threats, and none of them realise how lucky they are. So when they start complaining about it, she's just like, my people are dying. My people are actually dying, and you're complaining about this? Excuse me? So while I don't... She does think Alistair is being a little bit childish in that he's so sad that he lost all these people to the Darkspawn. But I think, given that she recently lost her father, Endrin didn't die, but she's probably never going to see him again. And I think from coming at it from that way, she can kind of understand what Alistair is going through. He was like a father to you. I understand.
I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry.
No harm done, Alistair. There's no need to apologise. Yes, well, let's forget about it. Just don't let it happen again. There really wasn't any harm done. It's very lucky they were in a safe space where he could have a little bit of a meltdown. It wasn't like this happened on a battlefield and he suddenly stopped fighting. No harm done, Alistair.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
What about the other Grey Wardens? He had you. That's an excellent idea, and I doubt you'll get the chance. Excuse me. I'm going to say that line again. I doubt you'll get the chance. Well, he had you.
I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I was with him, in the battle. I feel like I abandoned him.
No, I understand completely. He saved your life by sending you to the tower. Yes, that is stupid. You'd be dead. Again, Artin has lost so many people. I think the vibe she's getting from Alistair is that he hasn't lost many people. I think she's... Back in the hut, she was kind of like, oh, he's a Grey Warden, he must have lost countless, why does this matter? But I think now that she's actually speaking to him, I think she's maybe realising that this is probably his first major loss. And I think when her family when she became aware that lots of people she knew were dying in the Deep Roads, I think she maybe felt like she could have done something. No, I understand completely.
Of course. I'd be dead then, wouldn't I? It's not like that would make him happier. I think he came from High Ever, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Dwarves don't practice cremation, do they? How do your people honor your dead?
We entomb our dead within the stone beneath our taigs. Our ways are not your ways, nor Duncan's. I'd rather not discuss it. There's no harm in telling him about our culture. We entomb our dead within the stone beneath our taigs.
I heard about that, now that I think about it. Their spirits return to the rock, strengthening the foundation of the tide. It sounds so strange.
No stranger than burning your honoured dead to ashes. Don't be so ignorant. Those are our customs. Maybe so. Duncan is one of your people, however, not ours. I don't think what he said was ignorant. Maybe a little bit insensitive, but... And I think Artin can give as good as she gets. No stranger than burning your honoured dead to ashes.
I suppose you're right. Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Anytime, Alistair. Maybe I'll go to High Ever with you when you go. He was a friend of mine too. Let's get going. Artin wouldn't consider him a friend. And I don't think she'd be all too interested in going to High Ever for this funeral. But I think maybe Artin shouldn't admit this, but she is going to attempt to step back into a leadership role. Now that one has opened up, she's like, I'm going to be leading. And I think making sure that your soldiers, for want of a better word, making sure that they know that they can come and talk to you, making sure that they know that you're approachable, I think is always wise. Anytime, Alistair. Okie doke, buddy. And before we leave, Flemeth, do you have anything else to say?
Have you not left yet? I hope you are not hanging about for some stew.
Could you answer some questions? You could come with us, you know. I should go. From what the vibe I get from Flemeth is that she's one of those old women who doesn't want to leave her home. She's not about to move into some nursing home or a Ferelden equivalent. She wants to remain in the place where she's lived her entire life, and I think Artin gets that, so question 2 is kind of moot. Could you answer some questions?
Questions. One would think a Grey Warden would be more interested in action.
Can I ask about your magic? How long have you lived in the wilds? What will you do once we're gone? Do you have any advice? I have no more questions. How long have you lived in the wilds?
Since before I was wrinkled and old. You may think it strange, but I was once young and beautiful, just as Morrigan is now. Yes, men desired Flemeth then, and some even killed for her.
You don't seem happy about that. Are you sure they didn't just die from horror? That must have been a long time ago. You don't seem happy about that.
I am not, nor was I then. It dictated all that followed. But enough. You have your task to complete.
Can I ask about your magic?
What good would it do you? You are no mage. It is sufficient that I have passed on my knowledge to Morrigan, and I pass her on to you.
Like a worn dress or an old pair of shoes.
Are you still here? You cannot give them away, apparently.
What will you do once we've gone?
Have a moment's peace for once.
I hear the peace of the grave is eternal.
This is the thanks I get for feeding you and putting up with you for this long. May your child one day treat you the same.
Feed me, she says. Without me, I swear, she shall be caked in dirt and eating tree bark inside of a month.
Artin would feel so awkward right about now. Do you have any advice?
About the Darkspawn?
Yes, actually I was wondering about the wilds. About anything, really. Never mind. Artin knows about the Darkspawn. She's a dwarf. And this woman is very old. She has clearly lived a very long time. I think she could offer some really good advice. About anything, really.
Then hear this. I laugh at a world full of stupid humans who ignore the Blight's evil and abandon their vigilance to chase mortal goals. Remember, it is up to you to destroy the Blight. Pray not for someone else to destroy it. It will always nip at your heels.
I have no more questions.
Then we are done. Now, if you will excuse me, I have some dinner to eat.
Yeah. Very ominous there. We should get going. To Lothering. Oh, but we've been waylaid.
And I expect each of you to supply these men. We must rebuild what was lost at Ostagar, and quickly. There are those who would take advantage of our weakened state if we let them. We must defeat this Darkspawn incursion, but we must do so sensibly and without hesitation.
Your lordship, if I might speak. You have declared yourself Queen Anora's regent, and claim we must unite under your banner for our own good. But what of the army lost at Ostagar? Your withdrawal was most fortuitous.
Ooh.
Everything I have done has been to secure Ferelden's independence. I have not shirked my duty to the throne, and neither will any of you!
The Banorn will not bow to you simply because you demand it.
Understand this. I will brook no threat to this nation from you or anyone.
Bantegan, please!
Your Majesty, your father risks civil war. If Eamon were here...
Antigon, my father is doing what is best.
Did he also do what was best for your husband, your majesty?
Damn, Tegan! Savage! Also, there was a ghost lady there. Hello, puppy. Alrighty then, before I do anything, I'm gonna grab this death root. Okay, and we can get rid of that. Now then, help the dog. You. And swing. Flurry, come on. Ooh, I am not doing so well. I'm gonna take that. But everyone else seems to be doing alright. Come on, there we go. Good job, I think I need one of these. There we go. Ooh. He wags his tail and happily pants. Those Darkspawn didn't hurt you, boy, did they? Ugh, I hate dogs. Shoo, go away. I think this is the Mabari I helped cure back at Ostagar. Or pet the puppy. As much as I want to pet the puppy, I don't think Artin would. I think this is the Mabari I helped cure back at Ostagar.
I think he was out there looking for you. He's chosen you. Mabari are like that. They call it imprinting.
Does this mean we're going to have this mangy beast following us about now? Wonderful.
He's not mangy.
I've always wanted a dog like this. Maybe it's meant to be. But I don't want a dog. Too much responsibility. If you like him, you can have him. He can come, but he'd better make himself useful. Artin hasn't always wanted a dog. I'm not entirely sure if she knew dogs existed until she came to the surface. He can come, but he'd better make himself useful.
And yet we still have Alistair along.
Happy bark. Okay, buddy. We have a name. I know most people, when they choose the Dwarven Noble, they tend to name their dog Endrin. I've always found that weird, naming a pet after your father or a deceased brother. That sounds a little odd to me. But we are going to call him Thorin, a good, strong Dwarven name that I once again found in either the D&D Player's Handbook or the Pathfinder Player's Handbook. You're a good puppy. We'll read the codex in the next episode because I'm a little over time. However, I want to get into something before I continue. Loghain's plan at I can also loot. Loghain's plan at Ostagar was a little odd if you kind of think about it. And what I believe, and I think what Artin will come to believe, right now she doesn't have the necessary knowledge for this, but I think Loghain dug down into those lower chambers to allow the Darkspawn to burrow through. If you remember, in front of the Tower of the Shawl, there was a guy when we first arrived who said that Loghain had sealed off the tower due to the discovery of some lower chambers. I think they were digging then. And the Darkspawn tunnel through, they kill all the tower guards, and those two guys that Loghain would have sent to light the beacon just wouldn't have gone in. They would have said, oh, the tower's overrun, we couldn't do it. And then Loghain's excuse would have been, the signal never came. I never knew when to charge because the signal didn't come. However, because the king insisted that Artin and Alistair go, he then had to call a retreat instead, and now he's using the excuse of, oh, well, I knew that it was an unwinnable situation, and that's why I retreated, rather than, which I think is a better excuse of, the signal never came. I didn't know when to charge. And that's my opinion. If you've got a different opinion, then I'd like to hear it, but That's all for now, so please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.